at 11:55, there was an explosion. That's when the calls started coming in that created a partial collapse of this building and a fire, and it was a large fire. Over 100 firefighters had to be called to the scene here, and just a tremendous amount of activity. And we understand that before these firefighters even arrived, families were basically, they felt that there was no other choice but to jump off of the balconies.
The building shaked, and we thought somebody left the bomb, but when we got out, there's like fire all over the buildings, and it spread it to another building. We all got scared, and there are a lot of people screaming for help.
That is the apartment building that has the partial collapse. You can see the lights shining on the building where it collapsed. There's a street and then this entire parking lot. This is ATF police that are examining a metal door that apparently, when the explosion occurred, rocketed through the air and came to a rest here on this grassy knoll.
At this time, information identifies between 5 and 7 residents unaccounted for.
He says that after he felt the ground rattle, he ran outside and saw 3 people yelling from a 3rd floor window. One of his friends who was with him at the time actually caught a young child that those people threw from a 3rd floor window, absolutely panic-stricken. These are people that were not able to get out through their front door and through the hallways because fire had just consumed the building.
He says, I ran and saw a woman and 2 small children screaming for help on the bottom floor. I pushed the window in and helped them get out before it was too late. Listen to what he says happened next. She, he says, referring to another woman, grabbed her daughter in one arm and her son in the other and started running out. But at that moment, the floor gave way and her son slipped out of her grip and fell into the massive hole.
8644 Finance Road, building on fire.
All I heard was a big boom, and it sounded like an earthquake.
Firefighters responded and were met with heavy fire conditions and multiple rescues to be made.
It'd be the rescue group assist with getting the people off the 4th floor and the Delta side of the building.
So the big fire, and I'm trying to run in to helping people, but the police say go away.
The police on scene there with at least 3 burns.
We continue to follow that deadly explosion of an apartment complex here in Silver Spring, Maryland. A horrific scene. We know 2 people are dead, others are missing, as many as 90, maybe 100 people now without a home. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. We will be out here all evening long. Let's start it off this afternoon with our Maryland Bureau Chief, Brad Bell, to talk about what we know at this hour. Brad?
Yeah, Jonathan, like you, I'm being kept just about 100 yards from the scene, but if you take a look back over here, you can see that it is now crawling with rescue workers, investigators, both federal, local, and state, trying to figure out exactly what happened and mindful that still buried beneath that wreckage are at least 2 victims. It is a terrifying scene, a raging, out of control, gas-fed fire. People are trapped, yelling.
Help, help. They've been calling people to help, but they was on the 3rd floor. So the only way we can help them if they jump from the 3rd floor.
A baby is dropped to safety from the burning building.
My friend caught the child.
Our camera captures the rescue of a couple from their upper floor window. In all, 30 people suffer various injuries. 3 firefighters are hurt, and we now know at least 2 people are dead. Their bodies spotted, but still buried in the rubble of the collapsed building. Several more people are believed to be missing and may also be under all that debris. His family says 9-year-old David Morales is among the missing.
We have not identified these victims at this time, and our efforts will continue in that area.
It all started with a massive explosion, felt miles away.
Like thundered and kind of shook the house.
Firefighters arrived quickly, but it takes an hour and 45 minutes to turn off the gas. In addition to the casualties, many are displaced, including Eric Gomez.
I feel bad, man. We got my things, all tools, clothes, some money.
Everything's gone?
Yeah, everything's gone.
Well, Well, he's lost all his belongings, and clearly others have lost much more than that. Police sources telling me that they just don't know how many people may be missing and how many may still be buried in that rubble. They're trying to work with the community to determine how many people were living in each of the units and who may have been home at the time. And as for a cause of this blaze, we're told it is far too early to know. But among the things they will be looking at are reports that as recently as several weeks ago, someone in this building called 911 to report the odor of gas.
Now, as a result, there is so much damage between these two apartment buildings, 90, 100. It's hard to figure out the exact number of people that are without a place to live. But the Long Branch Community Center has been opened up now. That has become a makeshift home for all of these people, at least for now. Our Richard Reeve picks up our team coverage. He joins us now live. Richard?
Jonathan, this has been a heart-wrenching scene. We've seen mothers, fathers, young kids, all with literally nothing except what's on their backs. That's what they had when they fled this fire. You can see they have a bus here set up for some of these folks to go out and check in with relief agencies to try to find a place to live, find some food or clothing. But again, just controlled chaos here for most of the day. Now, there is some good news. We can see some video here. The Red Cross, volunteer organizations, local organizations have been here, including a local giant that's just across the street. The manager there says, look, these are my customers. They shop in my store. I want to return the favor. So he and his employees came out here with water, food, diapers, all kinds of items. Many of these folks, again, literally have nothing. Now, most found their family members, but as we heard from Brad Bell, there are still some missing folks out there. The first priority for these families is to find their loved ones. The second, to find a place to live. Many who are staying in this shelter tonight say they are still in shock.
I gotta wait for some manager for the building to come to talk to people. So how they gonna do it with the people? Where you gonna stay the people's doing? And I don't know.
Keep in mind, we may have 100 people that are displaced. We have 2 people that are dead, others that are missing. But more than 36 people were rushed to the hospital last night that suffered all kinds of different injuries. Now, they were taken to Washington. Some of them were taken to Washington at Venice. And that's where we pick up our team coverage with Q McCrae. Q?
Yeah, you know, Jonathan, the stories I'm hearing from victims today out of this hospital, they're amazing stories. Stories of despair, stories of survival, and stories of hope, especially when it comes to a mother named Maria Esperanza, a mother who continues to search for her son this afternoon. Here's a picture of the little guy, handsome little boy, just 3 years old. His name, Josue Hernandez, and he's his mother's only child. And according to his mother, she last saw him in their burning apartment. She told me about, an hour or 2 ago, that she was in the kitchen when she heard the blast. She then ran to her toddler's room. When she opened the door, she watched as his room's floor collapsed. It fell 1 story into the apartment below. Fire was everywhere, the heat unbearable. She refused to leave her baby behind, and it took firefighters to get her out of the burning building to save her. And this afternoon, she is convinced her son is still alive.
Corrí porque si no me iba a caer yo también allá al fondo.
I don't even imagine her pain of what she's going through right now about her son. And I just want to reach out. If anybody can please help. And please.
Well, that was Nelson Acevedo, a family friend, obviously very emotional. Esperanza does not speak English. And again, here's another look at Josue. Now, the mom told me she checked the local hospital, she checked the fire departments, the police departments. There's absolutely no sign of her little boy, but she's praying somehow, some way, he will be returned to her alive this afternoon. And let's hope that happens. In Tacoma Park, I'm Q McCrae, ABC 7 News.
We just felt an explosion like a bomb, and everything started shaking, and everybody started screaming, and everybody started running out. We thank God that we're alive.
After I come right in front of the building, the whole front of the building is clamped down. The whole thing is damaged completely. My whole apartment is gone.
There are many counting their blessings today. The very latest information we have on this deadly explosion here in Silver Spring, 2 people are dead, others missing, and we don't have an exact number. That's a part of the frustrations we'll talk about in a second. 34 people had to be taken to hospitals. 3 of those people were firefighters. We understand the firefighters now have been released. Dozens of families have been displaced. We're getting numbers 90, 100 people that are now without a place to live because of the explosion and subsequent fire. Joining me now is the battalion chief here in Montgomery County, Stephen Mann, and I appreciate you taking the time. Tell me what your firefighters were up against, because I know this was not an easy fire to fight.
No, this was a very difficult fire to fight for many reasons, most of which was the sheer timing of it. I mean, midnight, multifamily residential occupancy such as these apartments. When they arrived on the scene, it was a well-advanced fire. There was already significant building collapse. There were people that were struggling to get out on their own. There were people that they were in immediate peril, that our guys had to forgo fighting the fire to immediately throw ladders on all sides of this building and pull people out of those windows and move over to the next one. While all that was going on, the police, Montgomery County Police, were over here in the parking lot with multiple burn and injured victims that had gotten themselves out prior to our arrival.
And this is an area that's going to need a lot of help right now. A lot of people do want to help. We've had people walk up here trying to donate. Let me just make it real clear. Montgomery County officials gave us this information to pass along to you. There's so many good people out there that would like to help. Here's what you need to know. If you would like to donate toiletries or maybe some boxed foods or non-perishable items, you can do so at the Casa Welcome Center. That is on University Boulevard East, just near Piney Branch Road.
The 2 buildings we're talking about are attached, and we think we figured out where the initial blast came from. It appears from the physical damage, the explosion was centered in this apartment building at 8701 Arliss Street. The attached second apartment building received damage too. They belong to Flower Branch Apartments and were built in 1955. ABC 7 News did some digging, and there hasn't been any complaints to Montgomery County's Department of Permitting Services about the building where the initial explosion took place. We've seen the aftermath of the tragic explosion, but I want to show you through Google Street View what the apartment building looked like on Wednesday. It had 4 levels, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments, the highest rent running $1,500. Each unit has a gas furnace and a gas stove. ABC 7 News has learned a resident called 911 on July 25th about noticing a smell of gas in the apartment building on Arliss Street. Montgomery County officials say firefighters responded and left the scene in 10 minutes. Officials still don't know what exactly happened on scene. Fire officials say earlier this morning it took the gas company more than an hour and a half to shut off the gas to the burning buildings.
As of now, our goal is to make the building safe. It's a collapse hazard, and it's in an extremely dangerous condition. So we're in the process of making the building safe so that our operations can continue.
We use state records to track down a rep for the owners of Flower Branch Apartments at a downtown business. We paid them a visit, but so far they have no comment. Washington Gas, who controls the gas to these apartments, are still checking on their timetable on when the gas was shut off. Now, a lot of people are wondering, who've seen these stories all day long and on social media, why is the ATF there? Well, They're telling us right now that they're just there to investigate. You got to wonder, though.
So we don't know if that's unusual for a fire like this, for ATF to be there.
I would say it is unusual, but no, we don't officially know if it's not or not. And they're just there with their national investigation team trying to figure out what happened and help Montgomery officials figure out what happened too.
And you said that gas leak call that came in was about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was July 25th, and we're checking on that. They're still trying, officials still trying to figure out exactly what the firefighters found when they were there. When we know, I'll let you know.
Okay. Thank you, Scott.
Now, we have a team of reporters that have been out throughout the day covering the story from every angle. I want to start it off this evening with our Maryland Bureau Chief, Brad Bell, with the very latest on the investigation. Brad?
Yeah, Jonathan, I got some new information from one of my sources just a little while ago, and we have been told now that 2 bodies have been recovered, have been removed from the debris field from underneath this fallen structure, and that searchers have found a 3rd body but have not yet removed that person from the rubble. Sadly, we have also been told that they do have reason to believe that there are more than those 3 in the rubble. So tonight, for many families out here, The agonizing wait for news continues.
How about this? There was a couple, they had firsthand experience of this blast because they were getting into bed. This was about 11:45 last night. She smelled gas. The next thing you know, this couple was free falling in an explosion. Tim Barber picks up this incredible story. Tim, what happened?
Jonathan, this is an incredible story of survival, and if you're watching it from your bed tonight, it will definitely give you chills.
Building on fire.
Straight like a bomb. It all happened so fast.
People trapped on 2nd and 3rd floor.
She grabbed me, and we fell like elevator all the way down to the floor. I don't know how we are here. This is like a movie, I'm telling you. I swear.
Gustavo Zuniga and his wife were right next to the deadly explosion when it leveled their apartment and sent their bed plummeting 3 stories into the fiery rubble.
I think the bed saved our life, because if we wouldn't be in the bed, we would be all the way down to the fire.
That's right. The family credits their mattress for cushioning their plunge and allowing them to walk away with only cuts, burns, and bruises.
I lost everything. Everything that I built for 9 years, I lost it.
Right before Wednesday night's blast, Zuniga's wife smelled gas.
I mean, I didn't listen. I don't know what happened. And then I turned the light off. That's when I sit in the bed. Boom, all the way will come down.
Because they were about to fall asleep, they had to stumble through the scorched wreckage, burning their bare feet all the way to safety.
Always I wear it, always. So, thank God.
God and their mattress.
3rd floor, come in the bed all the way down. So it's a miracle.
When we talked to Juan Antonio Lainez, he was desperately trying to find out where his 9-year-old son Davey was. He shares custody of the boy and wasn't here when the explosion happened. I said goodnight and take care of yourself, and those are the last words I said to him. I miss him so much, and what I want to know is, where is he? There are others who can't account for their relatives either. Family members tell us Saul Paniaga is among the missing. Other people have quite a story to tell. Hilder Lopez says the first thing that came to his mind was that this was a terrorist attack. He and 7 other family members ran for their lives.
No, you can't go in right now.
Now they can't get back inside their building. We're here without clothes, in the street. My baby doesn't have any clothes. A woman who asked us not to identify her says this bruise came from when she fell down the stairs running after the blast. It was so powerful, it blew out this beauty school window well over a football field away.
Yeah, we witnessed the fire, the flames going up. It was horrific, very tearful. Yeah, I'm very heartbroken.
Now we're here at the Long Branch Community Center, and inside this building right here, roughly 200 people with nowhere else to go are spending the night this evening. Now, they have not been encouraging folks to bring donations directly here, but look how many they've been receiving anyway. All that water, all those other items. They actually say they're completely overwhelmed here, so they're encouraging folks to actually bring donations nearby on University Boulevard. Casa de Maryland has a welcome center. That's where they want folks to bring things, because not only do they have a lot of donations here, they have a lot of people. A lot of these folks who were in that apartment building are immigrants. They don't have family members they can stay with in the area, so they have nowhere else to sleep but in this community center tonight. Reporting live in Silver Spring, I'm Tom Rousey, ABC 7 News.
Tom, thanks. Nice to see so many people giving so much. I can tell you this, the Montgomery County Fire Department did an amazing job when it came to rescuing people off their balconies. Before they could even fight the fire, they were trying to rescue people. This afternoon, I got an exclusive tour outside the building with the Battalion Chief, Stephen Mann. He talked about this fire, and he talked about what his firefighters were up against.
I'm simply speculating, right? But this building is completely gone, so this blast blew in and blew that wall in.
So it started here. I mean, this is just, there's nothing structurally left of this place right here, except what looks like a roof. That's it.
Right.
There's no floor separating the units.
What you're looking at in this hole here is a roof and 3 floors pancaked on top of one another. And that's what is going to be our challenge over the next, really, probably several days at least, to meticulously delayer that in a way that allows the investigation to continue, but keeps us moving forward to making sure that we don't have anybody else unaccounted for in there.
And you have no idea right now how many people are missing?
No. No.
That
I mean,
has
the police.
to be very frustrating.
It is frustrating. You know?